Hi, my name is Tanya Reyes. I became involved in advocacy, I think, with pregnancy. The information you're given about paid family leave, maternity leave is very gray and takes much time to navigate and to find the truth of what you could really be offered. I don't feel HR often gives all of the information. After birth, I was blessed and lucky enough to stay home for 10 months with my daughter. I returned to work and was breastfeeding. This shouldn't even be an excuse or needed, but my daughter did not want food and would sign milk as she sat in the high chair. Breastfeeding, she's a milk monster, was a milk monster. I breastfed her on my school campus during my unpaid lunch and during teacher volunteer time after school when I hang out with kids and help them and just do teacher stuff. Within 2 days of pushing back on administration and using my union and criticizing school culture at the time, I was told my daughter was a liability. She could not be on campus. I had to get rid of my mini fridge. Within the next week, I was starting to have my pay docked. The next couple of weeks, my principal and her boss stood outside my classroom door while I pumped. Even though I had signs set up, you can go here, kids. The latest maybe was 2 minutes. I pumped for 10 minutes, and they waited outside my room. The district I worked for, LAUSD, when I would call for things, would put me on the phone with attorneys who would flip my questions and flip me around. I leaned into BreastfeedLA and they believed my story. And I think that that is one of the most important things that people need when they're in positions of needing advocacy, is someone to believe their story and the power of your own story. I'm really proud to tell my story and that other women are beginning to tell their stories. Recently, BreastfeedLA connected me with Education Weekly for an interview about pumping and breastfeeding rights in the classroom. And the woman said to me, "You're the only teacher I talked to who said something. Elementary teachers are afraid to say something because of recess and outside supervision and what about this, or I'm pumping, I've been breastfeeding over a year. Is it okay if I still want to do this?" And needing an excuse to still want to breastfeed, which I think is crazy, that women are expected to come back to work and be who they were and also be great mothers, but we're not going to give you any space to do that. That seems crazy to me. The training here is teaching me so much, and I'm hoping to take some of this information and modify it for women within LAUSD, because every bureaucracy is its own microsystem, and so it needs to be adapted for how teachers to mold it and change it and shift it. I want other women to not be afraid to say, I want to breastfeed my kid, and not have to apologize for it. There was definitely a time I thought I should stop my advocacy work. When I got off the phone trying to make basic calls and got high power attorneys, and when my boss pulled me in and said, I'm going to keep docking your pay, I thought I should just give up and go to a different school already, and this is crazy, maybe I'm asking for too much. It was very disheartening. But what kept me going is my husband is really awesome. And unfortunately, not all women have, or people have partners who believe in them like mine. And he's my friend number one, and he was like, keep going, and BreastfeedLA, because Arissa, who's this executive director, would text me and tell me, it's just keep going, and friends and the birth community and doulas. And my belief in my own privilege and my responsibility to speak up for those who cannot speak. I teach that, and I believe in modeling that. And my students who were at risk, and kids from poor communities, and kids of color, and kids who don't receive the same opportunities, I teach them to speak up, and I believe in them. And so I needed to model that behavior and model that to show that even if you don't win, you still fight for what's right. It doesn't matter, you keep going. And that part of the fight isn't always the amazing outcome, but it's the fight and showing up every day. And showing up every day is what matters. So to me, advocacy means doing the right thing.